Good morning, Internet. This is Alex does Sudokus, and it is Wednesday, the 2nd of December 2020, and we are going to look at today's New York Times Sudoku. Well, New York Times Hard Sudoku. Oh, pardon me. Just made some noises. So this is interesting. It looks like New York Times has updated their web app, so I wonder if there's some new features. Looks pretty much the same. So, okay, let's do some Snyder notations and see how we get on. So, starting with the ones, we're not getting too much from it. Let's have a look at twos then. Also can't see much from it, so I'm going to move on to, actually, I can see a pair of fours developing over here because of these fours. And hold on, going back to the threes, I can place a three here because of these threes taking the columns and that three taking the row. So that leaves me some threes over there, but that's not useful. However, whoops, I can place another pair of threes over here because of these two threes interacting. So that locks a further pair of threes up here, and I think that's sort of threes. Fours, I can now place a pair of fours here because of the three by just the deduction of those two rows. Got another pair of fours here. Column and row leads to a single column left, so I've got yet another pair of fours locked in rows 1s and 3. So if you have seen my previous videos, you would understand the deduction that when you've got the same number locked in the same two rows, or restricted to the same two rows in two different cages, then the remaining row must be where the number is in a third cage that's adjacent. So before I move on, I'm just going to blow my nose. Sorry about that. And I'm back. So what can we do next? Well, we can place a 5 here, and this is exactly why I particularly like to focus on one number at a time, because if I looked at this 5 scanning upwards, it locks the 5 in column 2 within this top cage. So no other 5s can go in column 2 outside of this cage, basically. So it's pointing down here. It's a pointing triple and restricting the number from column 2. So therefore it must be on column 3 within this cage, because column 1 is taken already as well. So when I've got rows 7 and 9 taken, I can effectively place a 5 in there. So the 5s are quite friendly. These two 5s also locks a pair of 5s there. So that further, as a pointer pair, locks another pair of 5s up top. This 5 doesn't lock any 5s specifically in the way that we would like to pencil mark, so we're going to leave it alone. The 6s are locked in here, which again locks the 6s on column 1, so they're being quite friendly actually. It's not leading to solutions yet, but we're getting a lot of pencil markings done. Further 6s over here because of these two 6s, and I think that's all the 6s. So 7s. Oh, my nose is definitely blocked today. So 7 is a weak number, so I'm very curious about this and these two cells, because I've got 4 numbers here, 4 numbers there, and I wonder if I have any. Oh no, maybe not. I don't think this is a naked single. So what can I see in this cell? So basically, whenever I see a number that only has one occurrence, it's a weak number for a start, because it's the weakest number on the board, because unless another number doesn't exist at all on the board, in which case we literally can't do anything with it until it's restricted completely by a different number. But with the 7s, I think we can have a scan up and down and see if it's restricted to any cells specifically. So I think this is the friendliest cell, but I don't think I can find anything from it. So what can I see? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing a 5, which is already pencil marked in. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Oh, so it is, in fact, a naked single. So I'm quite curious because I thought I've only got 8 numbers. One, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, I've got 8 numbers. Yeah, so 8 numbers non-repeating on the row and the column effectively gives me a naked single. So that is why I like to look at the naked singles, because the logic for me is because if I click on any random cell that doesn't see the 7, then 7 has to be one of the possible candidates. So by eliminating the 7, I think it's just a probability thing that it increases my probability of finding a naked single, because if I can see the rest of the numbers, then I can find a naked single basically. So can I do anything here? I've only got 7 numbers here. So 1, 2, missing a 3, 4, 5, missing a 6, 7, missing an 8 as well. So yeah, because I've got a repeating number in the 5, so I've effectively only got 6 numbers, I think. Or is it less than that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I've only got 6 numbers, so that leaves me 3 possible candidates left. So anyway, 7 didn't get us any, well, this column doesn't get us any further, so let us look at the 8. Sorry, my blocked nose is really distracting me. This 8 and that 8 locks a pair of 8s there, so I've got another pair of 8s locked in the bottom cage. What else have we got? Got another pair of 8s there because of these 2 8s. So also this 8 and that 8 actually locks a pointer pair of 8 that's horizontal, lining up to this 8. So based on the previous logic, we can eliminate this 8 because 8 has to be in this cage on row 3. So now we can place an 8, and this is the benefits of Snyder notations. When we place a number, since we're only pencil marking 2 candidates per cage, and when we place a number that overlaps, so in this case when I place the 8, I'm overlapping with the 4. I've basically erased the only other candidate for the 4, so I can now confidently place a 4 in here. So what I like to do as well, once I place a number, is look in both directions. So looking down, I've already pencil marking the 4s here. Can I do anything in here? No, I can't. But I have noticed that 4 and 8 are locked in the same cells. So the next thing I've started doing is by looking at a column, because I'm using the column to restrict the numbers to the 4s and 8s. I don't need any horizontal restrictions. Then if the 3 is missing from this cage, then it'll be a 3, 4, 8 triple, but of course the 3 is actually in the cage, so I can't actually do that. So what about the 8? The 8 I pencil marked in down here and over there, so there's nothing more I can do with the 4s and the 8s. However, if we look at a cage now, it's a bit restricted, so I can see the 9s are locked in there. You don't have to do this immediately, but it is sometimes worth looking, and I noticed that the 5 and the 9s are locked in these 2 cells, so therefore that forms a matching pair, so no other numbers can go in there, because if the 5 goes here, the 9 has to go there. If the 5 goes there, 9 has to go here. So if I place any other numbers in either cells, I've basically left myself a single cell to contain the 5 and the 9, and that wouldn't be possible. So then I can deduce that the remaining 2 numbers out of the 4 are in these 2 cells, so they form another matching pair. And they are 1s and 7s, and at a quick glance I can't see any 1s and 7s horizontally because they're lined up vertically. If I can't see any 1s and 7s horizontally, they're not deducible, so let's place them. I'm going to blow my nose some more. Okay, so now that I've placed some additional pencil markings, I want to use them to see if they form any restrictions as well. So I'm just going to scan downwards with the 1s. I don't need to do the 7s because the 7 is along anyway, so it's not going to do anything for us. But if we want, we could actually look at these 3 cells and see if it's a naked single, because I've got a 7 there, but I'm doubtful that's going to be the case. So let's see. What is this triple? This is 4, 6, and 4, 6, and 2. So 2, 4, and 6. And I can't see any. Yeah, I can see a 6 there. So the 6 are restricted to these 2 cells. I see a 4 there, so the 4s can go in both of these cells. And I can't see a single 2 in any of these 3 cells, so I can't resolve this triple yet. So let's carry on with the 8s. Let's just finish up with the 8s. I probably have, but I should just have one last scan. Yep, the 8s are done, so let's look at 9s. So 9s, I've got a pair of 9s there because of the 9 here, points a pair of 9s. So this 9 restricts the 9s in these 2 cells. This 9 and that 9 also restricts the 9s with the 4, so that's another matching pair. So that could be useful later. And as a result, I've got yet another 4-9 pair locked in here. So we have a 6 here as well at the moment, but since we've only got 2 candidates per number at the moment in each cage, the fact that the 4s and the 9s share the same 2 cells already means that they are a matching pair, because the 4s can't go anywhere else, the 9s can't go anywhere else. So if the 6 goes here, I've got 4 and 9 locked in the same cell. So I can eliminate this 6 because it can't go in there, therefore the 6 must go here. So this 6 opens up a pair of 6s down here because of this 6 and that 6. But since it's not lined it up, I can't do anything with it. So we can go back to this cage. So I've got 4-9 pair. The 9s, again, are locked on the same 2 rows in 2 separate cages. So the third cage in the line, so this is horizontal cage arrangements. In this cage, the 9 must be on row 2. So let's place that. Another way of looking at it is the 9 can't go in this cell. There were only 2 cells left on this row, and the points pair of 9s eliminates that as a possible 9 basically. So now if we look at this row, we've only got a single number left, and it is a 2. So we can place this 2, and we've got another 2 over there. So it looks like the 2s are quite weak as well. So we only had 2 2s, and they didn't really do much for us. But anyway, now if we look at this cage, we've got the 4 and 9 ruling out these 2 cells. Those 2 cells are basically out of play when you've got a matching pair. So I've got another pair here, and I know there have to be 1s and 3s. So I can eliminate this one here, which forces the 1 over there, which forces the 7 here. So whenever you have, okay, let me pencil mark them in actually, the 1s and the 3s, since I can't deduce them yet anyway. So this pointed pair erases that 1. So if the 1 is part of part of the matching pair, in this case a 1-7 pair, I can effectively just place the 7 here and the 1 there. And over here, I can erase a 3 because of the pointer pair 3s, so that means that has to be a 3. But it wasn't part of a matching pair, so there's nothing magical about it otherwise. So this doesn't see any more 3s, so that's all I can do with it. Anything else I can do with the 1s and 3s? I don't think so. Has the 1s and 7 opened up anything else? Well, the 7s are now locked in these 2 cells, so that's kind of useful. So the 7s are quite restricted on this column now. If I have a pointed pair of 7s down here, I can restrict the 7 in these 2 cells as well, but I haven't at the moment. It's just like things to look out for, basically. Okay, so what do we do next? We finish up the 9s. I think that's what we should do. So 9s, 9s, 9, 9, 9, 9. Okay, I can't actually do any more 9s. So we get to do the fun part of Sudokus, which is to look around the grid, and we'll look at the weak areas and see if we can do anything. Just having a sip of water first. Okay, so what I like to do is look at the weak areas, and by weak areas I define any rows, columns and cages that has only a few candidates, only a few cells left to be filled in, and depending on your skill level, I'll recommend start with 3s. So I've got 3 cells remaining in this column. But as you get better at recognizing numbers or memorizing numbers, you can move up to 4 cells. But let's start with the 3. I already know that this is the 246 triple, so I didn't draw any conclusions, and I still can't draw any conclusion at the moment. So I think I'm going to look at the quadruples first. So this is, I've got all the pencil markings that I need. I've got 4, 5, 7 and 9. So just a quick little tip, if you want to know what numbers are missing on a row or column, the pencil markings that you've got remaining, providing that you've cleaned them up as you go, they are some of the candidates basically. So I've got 4 cells remaining and I've got 4 numbers, 4, 5, 7, 9, so those are the only possible candidates. And I know these 2 cells are already part of a matching pair, so I know these have to be 4s and 9s, 5s and 9s. So just question of, what about these 2 cells? So I'm looking for 4, 5, 7 and 9. I've got 4 over here, I've got 9 there, so I guess I can't see a 5, so it may be worth just having a look around the grid to see, can I actually see any more 5s? And I'm afraid the answer is no, I can't. So this is a 5 and 7. So we've got a unique quadruple where every single permutation of the quadruple is available in this row, so we can't do anything with that. So any other quadruples? We've got one here. So I've got 1, 3, 6 and 7. Let's remember the sevens are weak, so there's a high probability that there's a naked single along the 7. So this, whilst it's a pentagonal, has a cell that doesn't have any numbers. So let's have a look at it just to see if we can get anything from it. I can see the 1 because, I can see a 1 there anyway. I'm missing a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So sure enough, this 7 again as a weak number has allowed me to find a naked single. And just to clarify what I mean by naked single, I think the way to look at it is you strip away any numbers that you can see from this cell. So I've got a pointer pair of 1s there, I strip the 1 away. I can't see a 2, I can see a 3, so strip the 3 away, strip the 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, accidentally delete everything, so let me try again. Strip the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the 7 didn't strip, and 9, so hold on, I think I pressed 1 instead of the 7. I get a bit confused because I used a numpad, so I think on the phone the 1s are up top and the 7s are down bottom. On the keyboard it's the other way around, so it's very confusing. Anyway, so I've got a 2 now stripped naked. It's a naked 2, so we can place it. And let's immediately check the 2 to see if it does add any restrictions for us, and it doesn't. So, oh wow. But we have noticed another quadruple, but this time in a cage. So I know 5 is the only number I haven't pencil marked in, but actually the 5 can go everywhere in this cage. So that's not very friendly for us. So I'm going to leave that alone. I don't think the 7s does anything else for us, but it's always worth having a look. I'm doubtful that we're going to find another naked single. Yeah, down here I've got 3 and 6 at the very least, because I can't see a 3. I've already got 6 candidates here, so that's at least a 3 or a 6. So I think, oh yeah, we've got some more quadruples. So let's finish up the quadruple first, and then we'll see what we can do. So on here, this column, we have another quadruple. And the reason it's a quadruple is because the 5 and 9s are already restricted, so effectively they're out of play. So we're only interested in looking at the remaining numbers in these cells. So we've got 2, 6, 1 and 9. So 1, 2, 6 and 9. So I've got 1 and 6 and 9 here in this cell. So 1 there, 6 there and 9 there. So if I'm looking for 1, 2, 6 and 9 and I can see 3 of the numbers, that means the number that I can't see, which is a 2, must go here. And that's really powerful because that 2 in conjunction with the 2 up top locks a pair of 2s there, and you'll notice we have another 2-6 matching pair. So again, the logic is it pushes out the 4, so the 4 has to go here. And the other thing it does is on the column, it's now forced the 4 to be on this cell as well. So and now this 4 erases that 4 candidate, leaving me a single 4, and that erased a 9, so we can place a 9 there. So let's follow the 9. Can we do any more 9s? Yes. These 2 9s locks a pair of 9s there, so nothing vertically. So let's go back to the 4. Can a 4 do anything else? No, it can't. So the only 4s remaining are these in these 4 cells, so forming an X-wing. So that's the 4s effectively finished for the time being. So let's come back. I can ignore the 4s that I've placed now, but going back to the 2, horizontally, these 2 2s and that 2 there locks a pair of 2s there. So I've got yet another matching pair, and this is potentially quite powerful. So on the row, we've got 4 numbers left, and in the cage, we've got 4 numbers left. Well, why don't we look at the cage? The 1s are restricted to these 2 cells. The 8 are restricted to these 3, so that's not super useful. Although, if we look at this 8, so now, sorry, I've got to blow my nose. Ooh, hopefully I'm a bit more, what is it when you're speaking, when you're more, I don't think it's legible. I think legible is when you write. But anyway, hopefully it's easy to understand me now when my nose is a bit cleared. So I was looking for the 8 in this cage, and I know that 8 rules out that cell, and I'm left with 3. So I'm not satisfied with that, so that's why I scanned horizontally to see, okay, I've got a pair of 8s there, that's not pointed, but this 8 does force a pointed pair of 8s here. So that's 2 things. One, well actually no, it only does 1 thing. So now the 8 rules out those 2 cells as well. So now none of these cells can be an 8, and I've got 2s and 9s locked in these 2 cells. So that means the 8s can only go in this cell. So that just erased the 3. So let's place the 3, which erased the 1. Let's place the 1. And now we've only got a single number left, which is a 7. So before I forget, this 8 also erases an 8 up here. So placing that 8 will erase a 4. Placing that 4 will erase a 7. And 7 goes there. So now 7s are locked in these 2 cells. But let's go back to the cage. The 4 eliminates the 4 here, so it basically disambiguates, the other way, the 4s and the 9. So the 9 disambiguates the 5 and the 9. So that was quite powerful. Okay, so we've made a lot of changes here, so let's try and follow the numbers that we placed, but backwards. So 9 doesn't do anything, 5 doesn't do anything. Well, I guess the 5 is locked in that cell, so that's, I guess, something. I'm already forgetting what I did over here. I think I placed the 4 and the 9, so the 9 doesn't do anything because I've already got the 9s down here. Anything over here? I think I placed all of these numbers. So this 5 restricts another 5 here, because I've got 5 there, and a 5 here. So that restricts the 5, places another 5 there, so all the 5s are done. So that was the 5. What about a 7? 7s, I've already surmised that they're locked in here. And okay, so this is interesting. This 7, looking down, locks the 7s in these 3 cells. So again, the 7s are locked in rows 5 and 6. So it must be on row 4 in this cage. So that forms a pointed pair of 7s, but they don't point at anything because I deduced the 7 from the restrictions, basically. So don't think I can do anything else. 4s are all done. What about the 8? Nope, doesn't do anything. But now we're at a point where I think if we just look at the cluttered cages, we can probably make some decent deductions. Also, looking at this column, we've got 2s and 9 left. Can't deduce them yet. Here on this column, I've got 1, 2, and 9, which also can't be deduced yet. So, but I do know that the 9s are locked in those cells. Oh, the 1s are actually locked over here. And the 2s can go in all 3 cells. Now, I've effectively left myself with a triple. So, when you're left with a triple, depending on how strict you are about it, I don't feel any reason not to pencil mark them in, because we are meant to help ourselves with the pencil markings. And I think by the time you're down to 3 different numbers, that's kind of like not enough to confuse you in theory, so you might as well pencil mark them in. Oh, this is something that I've missed. The 8 erases that 8, so I can place under that 8 here. So, so now I've got the 8 just left in those cells. I've got a pair locked in this row. So what are they? 7s and 3s and 7s, and I've got 3 there looking into this cell. So the 3 can only go in this cell on that row. That opens up a 7, and this 7 unlocks a 7 over here, and nothing else. I'm left with 2 numbers here, 1s and 6, but I've got 1 over there, so 1 and 6 are deduced. This 6 is locked in here, opening up an 8, and that opens up another 8. So I think all the 8s are done now. And in this cage, we're only left with a 7. This 7 locks a pair of 7s there, so I'm going to speed up a little bit because I need to do the LA times Sudoku as well. So here this 3 unlocks the 1 and 3, so let's open them up. And what am I left with on this column? A 6. So this 6 unlocks the 7 and 6. 6 and 2. The 2 doesn't unlock the ones that I've got 3 separate 3 2s here, so it is worth just keeping in mind. So this is where it may get confusing if you pencil mark in the triples, but in this case, this triple are like, these are the only numbers that are available. They're not kind of formed as pairs, so I'm able to kind of remember and place the 1 rather than any other 2s, because I've got 2s in 2 separate cells still. So that leaves me 2s and 9s. I can clean up the 1. What have we got over here? I think this is probably the most useful cell because it's a 1 on the column, and that locks a 1 over there, 9 over here, 9 over there, 2 over there, 2 over here, and 3 over there. And down here I've got a 2 looking in, so 2s and 9s are resolved. So that's all that's the hard Sudoku done. So I'm not liking this new format because oh okay, so clicking the orange area allows me to go back to different difficulties, so that's good to know. Let us look at the LA Times Expert Sudoku then. So I'm just waiting it to load. I didn't actually do yesterday's one because I spent so long getting stuck on the New York Times one. So let's see, how are the LA Times Expert? I'm going to just run through it now. So this is how I would normally play a Sudoku. So I think like the New York Times one is probably the one where I'll do most of the explanations, and then I just do the LA Times one as normal. But when I talk, I do struggle to kind of concentrate a little bit, so I get a little bit distracted. So sometimes I miss things and make mistakes, and but it's good because it kind of, I think it helps me with because I'm hoping to do more streaming in the future with like video games and stuff. So maybe doing this helps me with my ability to multitask a little bit. 6s are locked in these cells. 6 is also locked in those cells because there's 6 and that's 6, so I can actually place a 6 over here. I've also got 6 locked in there as well. I should have placed that first because I wouldn't have even wasted time pencil marking in the 6s over there. So the 6s are quite restricted. They are locked in here and here. Okay, 7s are locked in here and here. 7, 7, 7, 7. Okay, what about 8s? Got an 8 over there, so that locks a 1 8 pair. 8s. Got another pair of 8s there because of these 2 8s. I think that's how I can do the 8s. So let's move on to 9s. Well, 9. There's only a single 9. I don't think I'm going to find a weak. Going to find a naked single with this 9. Just the way the cells, the rows and columns are arranged. So instead, I'm going to look at the weak areas. This one looks the most interesting. Oh, actually, Yeah, this 9 looking over here, that's quite restricted. So what is that? That's could be 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it could be 3 and 7 at the moment. So that's a little bit irritating, but I can pencil mark in the 3s in these cells. So why don't I do that? In fact, the 3s and 9s are both quite weak actually. So that's interesting to know. Maybe where the 3s and 9s interact is where I want to focus on in the future. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. No, haven't got 7. I do have a pointer pair of 8, but let's look at this triple as well. This is a 3, 7 and 9 triple. I've got 3 down here. Haven't got any 7s. I've only got a single 9, so can't deduce that. Okay, what about this triple? This is 3, 4 and 9. Got a 3 there, got a 4 there, no 9s. Any other triples? Columns? May have to look in the quadruples instead then, because I do have some quadruples like here. So I'm missing 2, 3, 9 and 7. 2, 3, 7 and 9. Got a 7 there. Well, 3s can't go there. No, it's not very useful. 2 can't go there. 2 can go in these cells. So again, that's not very useful. What about... that's not a quadruple. Have I got any quadruples? I don't think I do. Okay, maybe it's worth just doing another round of notations in that case. So 1s, 1, 1, 1. 1s are further locked in these cells. And can't see anything else. What about 2s? 2, 2, 2. So I like to click on, oh, there we go. Got a pointer pair of 2s there. So those are 2s as well. So, any additional restrictions? No. So one thing, actually, maybe I should look at this triple. I like to click on the numbers that I'm scanning because sometimes I get scatterbrained and then forget what I'm looking at, basically. But also comes in the annoyance that with the highlight select entry, it will highlight the cells as well, which, you know, it is useful, but it's kind of not good for practice purposes, because if you do pen and paper, we're not at the stage where papers will glow when you select any of the numbers. So what is this triple? This is it's 2, 7 and 9s again, but I can't tell what they are, but I can see there's a pair of 7s there because of that 7, so that unlocks a 7 down here. So I'm left with 9s. Still not super useful for us. Are the 7s further restricted? 7s are restricted to these cells as well, but it's not super useful for us. So what about here? This is interesting, a T-junction. So 6, 4, no, 6, 8, 4, no, nothing there. So what am I missing? 5, 7, 9 and 3. Wow, I really can't see any of the numbers. So I think I was looking at 2s before. Okay, and I think I've exhausted the 2s, so 3s are quite weak. So I'm not getting anything from 3s. 4s. 4s, any restrictions? Not really. 5s. Just trying to breathe for a second there. I probably need to blow my nose again, and I need to resort to getting a new tissue. Are the 6s close to being done? Yes, they are. I'm just got an X string of 6s. 7s. 7s I think I've looked at. 8s, just going to mute. Okay, can't see anything on 8s if I'm honest, but I have noticed that the 8s are locked in these 3 cells. So whilst this doesn't give us anything, one thing that's worth doing is, so this 8 eliminates those cells, that 8 eliminate those cells. If the 8s and 7s are locked in these 3 cells, chances are it means there may be a chance for it to be a triple, but we're using a row and a column to find it. So I can see the 4 is the additional cell that I used to eliminate the available in this row that is in the cage. but I haven't got any 4s on the columns, so I can't restrict the 4 from this cell, so that's not a triple. But if you've got a 4 in here as well, then you've got yourself a triple basically, but I can't do anything with that. So what about 9s? Can we do anything new with 9s? So the 9s are locked in with the 2s, but I haven't got anything else. So again, it's not a triple that I can form. These are the kind of triples that you want to look for basically. This 9 on its own is able to lock the 9s in here. So that means 2, 9 and 6 are a potential triple, but I've already got 6 in the cage, so it's not 1. So maybe I should look at these cells as well. What are missing here? 9s and 7s. So again, that's not useful. So I think I've exhausted all the possibilities. So with LA times, it's typically some sort of like hidden pair or triple along the row and column interacting that solves the puzzle for us. So I'm just going to have a quick look. So what I'm doing now is I'm focusing on a number on the where I have 2 candidates in the same cell and see if I can do anything with it. I think I have potential for a triple in this cage, but yes, no, hold on, no, I haven't. The 9s are locked in these 3 cells, so that's not a triple. No. What are missing in this column? 2, 4, 5, 9 and 7. So 7s can go in these 3 cells, so this is not very useful. No, it's not, because it doesn't form another triple here, so there's nothing going on. 1s and 8s. Nope. Wait, hold on a sec. Yes, I've got something. So this is a technique that I learned from another YouTuber. So if you're watching from YouTube, their name is oh, I can't easily find them because, let's see, oh, there we go. I've got a tab open, so let's see, duplicate tab, YouTube. Subscriptions. They've probably done today's New York Times Sudoku as well. Yes, they have, but I'm not going to look at that. What's interesting is yesterday, they didn't do yesterday's New York Times Sudoku until much later, so I think they probably struggled a little bit before they made a video as well. But let me check my Streamlabs. So, oh, you can't actually see their name there. Oh god, hang on, this is the wrong browser, so let's go back to New York Times. Maybe, no, it's in the LA Times tab, isn't it? So why don't I, yeah, that's the browser. So if I move that to this browser and then in OBS change to the browser tab, there we go. So now I can't read from my thingy. The name is Tumor 4 in Roman numerals, so they're very good Sudoku player by my standards. Oh, they have replied, so I should really look at what they did. Yeah, they said they had to struggle. They struggled a little bit yesterday as well. So anyway, so definitely worth checking them out. But they're the ones that showed me the technique that I'm using now, which I need to find my LA Times Sudoku now. Oh, I'm all over the place. Okay, this is the LA Times Sudoku. So they taught me this technique where if you look at any cells with 2 candidates, so like here I've got 1 and an 8, what you do is you scan the rows and columns outside the cage, really. So this is not too great looking down vertically because I've already got an 8 there. What I'm looking for is a hidden pair, basically. So if this can be an 8 but not a 1, it's safe to say there's no 1-8 pair hidden on this column. But what I can see is if I look horizontally, the 1 and 8 can't go in these 2 cells, so they're restricted. It also can't go in here because there's a 1 and 8 on the column. So I've only got 2 cells left on this row which the 1s and 8 can live. And it's in here. There are no 1s or 8s looking into this cell. So there has to be a 1 or an 8 because the 1s can't go anywhere else. The 8 can't go anywhere else. So I can lock the 1s and 8s in these two cells. So the effect is, since it's a matching pair, I can eliminate that 7. So now that I've got that 7, I can lock a pair of 7s here. Which I don't think is super useful right now. It doesn't do anything else. But I do have a 1-8 pair, so now this is a triple. If these are 1s and 8s, these must be 3, 4 and 7. So I've got 4 and 7 looking into here, so this must be a 3. So that being a 3, that can't be a 3 anymore, so the 3 is up here. This can't be a 4 either, because if this is 1-8, I've got 4 and 7s locked in there. If that could have been a 4, I would have pencil marked it in, so that's a 7. And I just realised something as well. I said I was going to just do this normally, but I'm actually going overboard with explanations. But I think that was worth explaining a little bit. So now I've got a 2-9 pair, so this must be a pair of 5s and 7s. Okay, let's pencil mark those in. That leaves me a 3-9 pair here, but this can't be a 3 anyway. So 3 is there, 9 is there. So now I'm just going to finish up normally because I'm conscious of time. I have to work soon, so 6s are done. The 3s I think are more or less restricted. Yep, 3s are restricted there. There. Okay. So what I was going to do, 1 and 8. But basically, without even pencil marking in the 1 and 8, I was able to make all those deductions. So I really like that technique. On this column, I've only got, well, that can't be a 7 anymore. So 7 and 2s lift there. There has to be a 9. And this 9 unlocks a pair of 9s there. Nothing else really, which is a bit disappointing. Okay, what do I look at next? I've got another 1-8 pair there. No, hold on. No, it's not 1-8 pair because 1 and 8 can't go in there. So 1-8, 9 and 1-8, 9 and 5. So 1, 5, 8 and 9. I've got 1 and 8 but no 5 or 9. 5, 9, 1. So 1's locked in these two cells. So I've got 1's locked in the bottom cage, bottom rows. So 1's must be here, but it's not a triple. It's a triple. Oh, pardon me. It's a triple, so I'm going to leave that alone. 3, 4 and 9 still can't be reduced. So let's just do another scan on the grid, around the grid, and see if we can find anything. So 1s, 2s, because I think it gets to the point where it's easier to solve the puzzle by just scanning what numbers are available. Now, if 1 and 8 is locked in here, oh no, it's not exclusively 1 and 8, but I do have 2s locked in there because I didn't see that 2 actually. So 2s, 3s are pointed, can't do anything with it though. 4s are locked in these two cells, so I've got a 4-3 pair, which means this is a triple of 1, 8. Well, that means 8 has to go here because of that 8. So 8 goes here, and these are now 1s, which means that can't be 1 anymore. And 1s and 5s? Yep. Oops. 5s and 1s. Okay. So that means the 5s have to live here. Not happily ever after though. So this is 2 and 9, can't resolve them. So yeah, I've got 2s and 9 remaining in this cage. So I'm just going to pencil mark them in. This is 1 and 2, but I've got a pointer pair of 1s there. No, hold on. That 1 eliminates that 1 anyway. So it's not 1 and 2. It's a 1 deduced. Down here, that unlocks the 1 and 8. And the 8 is now unlocked here. So all the 8s are done. 1s are locked in these 3 cells still. These are 9s and 5s, can't deduce them. These are 2s and 9s. I've got 2 there, so 2 must go here. And this must be the 9. That means that has to be a 9. So that can't be a 9 anymore. This is a 2 and 5. These are 1s and 5s because I've got 3-4 pair. Can't do anything with that. Hold on, is it a 3-4 pair? Not necessarily, no. Well, this is a solo digit. It is a 9, a naked digit, which is a 9. So that further locks a 9 here. So 4, 3 are done. So that unlocks the 3 over there. It's getting a bit messy now. So 4 and 3. So 4 is locked in here. All the 4s are done. What else can I do? 7, 5, and 2. Okay, 2, 7, and 5. Nope, can't do that. That's a bit annoying. Oh, this can't be a 9 anymore. So what is it? It is a 5. And this 5 locks a 5 there, so 1 and 5 are resolved. This must be a 1 and this must be a 2. So, is it definitely a 2? Yes, it is. So that means 2 and 5 live there. So this must be a 9, that must be a 5. These are now 2s and 7s, right? Well, 2 has to go there, so 2 and 7 and 7 and 5. So this is a 2 and that's a 9, and that's today's LA Times Expert Sudoku. So hope you enjoyed that. I forgot to timestamp my video, so I need to go back to check that, which is annoying. Oh, I just had a panic there, thinking the mic was off the whole time. So, but no, it's my desktop audio that was muted. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. If it's been helpful at all, please leave a like and subscribe, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye now.